Lying down felt normal, but getting out of bed wasn't as smooth as it used to be. Legs hesitated. Not pain exactly, just slower response. And I knew exactly what that meant because I've seen it in so many of my patients over 70. That hesitation is the beginning of something that can snowball into weakness, instability, and eventually loss of independence. I've spent my career studying what happens to the body as we age and what we can actually do about it. At first, I did what everyone says: walk more, stay active, keep moving. But nothing really changed. In fact, some days felt worse. That's when I realized something important that changed how I approach exercise for my older patients. Walking alone wasn't rebuilding anything. It was just maintaining what was left. And for many people over 70, maintaining isn't enough. You need to rebuild. You need to wake up muscles that have gone quiet. You need to target the specific muscle groups that keep you upright, stable, and independent. So, I decided to try something different. I focused on the simplest position possible, my own bed. I started testing movements from lying flat, adjusting angles, activating muscles in very specific ways. Most of what I tried did nothing noticeable, but a few exercises changed everything about how my legs responded each morning. Here's what surprised me most about this process. It wasn't about effort or pushing yourself to exhaustion. It wasn't about spending an hour exercising. It was about triggering the right muscles before your body has to carry your weight. When you do that correctly, your legs respond immediately, even after 70. I've seen patients struggle for months with weakness and instability, losing confidence and independence, then improve dramatically in days just by doing the right movement the right way. Not long workouts, not complicated routines that require a gym or special equipment. Just simple exercises done in bed that wake the entire system back up and remind your muscles that they're still needed. Today, I'm going to show you 5 bed exercises ranked from least powerful to most powerful. And the third one feels almost too easy, yet it works better than walking for rebuilding strength and stability. Let's begin with the first exercise: seated knee extension. If you only do one movement from this entire list, make it this one. Your quadriceps is the large muscle on the front of your thigh. It is the muscle that straightens your knee. It is the muscle that stands you up out of a chair, off a toilet, up from bed. When this muscle weakens, everything gets harder at once. Here is why walking does not fix this problem. When you walk on flat ground, your quadriceps works at only a small fraction of what it can actually do. It is barely being challenged at all. The muscle goes through a very limited range of motion. It never has to produce the kind of force required to lift your full body weight from a seated position. That is why people walk every day for years, sometimes decades, and still cannot get out of a low chair without pushing off with their arms. Walking maintains the muscle at its current level, but it doesn't challenge it enough to actually rebuild strength that has been lost. The seated knee extension changes that completely. Because your lower leg hangs free, its full weight sits at the far end, and your quadriceps has to hold all of it through the entire range of motion. Research tested this movement in over 200 adults between the ages of 76 and 91. After 12 weeks, participants showed a 34% increase in quadriceps strength, a 29% improvement in sit-to-stand speed, and a 23% reduction in difficulty with stairs. No other single exercise in the study improved daily function that broadly across that many measures. To perform this correctly, sit at the edge of your bed with your back straight and your lower legs hanging freely. Place your hands beside you for support. Now slowly straighten your right knee, lifting your foot forward until your leg is completely straight. Take 3 seconds to rise. Hold at the top for 3 full seconds and squeeze the front of your thigh hard. This hold is where much of the benefit comes from. Research found that a 3-second hold at full extension increased quadriceps activation by 29% compared to simply lifting and lowering without pausing. Lower your leg back down slowly, taking at least 4 seconds. The lowering phase builds strength through the lengthening range, which is what protects the knee joint. Studies found that slow lowering reduced knee pain scores by 35% over 8 weeks in adults with age-related knee stiffness. Begin with 2 sets of 8 per leg and work toward 3 sets of 12. For an added challenge after several weeks, hang a light shopping bag or a small ankle weight over your foot. The second exercise is the prone hamstring curl. This targets a muscle group almost no one talks about, but every physical therapist worries about when they work with adults over 70. Your hamstrings are the muscles running down the back of your thighs. Most people think of the front of the thigh as the important muscle for leg strength, but your hamstrings play an equally critical role that most people never consider. Your hamstrings are what slow you down when you're walking. They stop you when you need to halt suddenly. They hold your knees steady and secure when your foot hits the ground with each step. Without strong hamstrings, your knee becomes unstable and unpredictable. Research found that hamstring strength declines by up to 28% between the ages of 65 and 80. This decline is strongly linked to knee buckling, which is that sudden give-way feeling that sends so many older adults to the floor without warning. It happens when your hamstring isn't strong enough to control the knee joint during normal movement. The prone hamstring curl fixes this directly. Lying face down means your spine carries no load at all. Lie on your stomach on the bed with both legs straight and your arms folded under your forehead. If lying face down is uncomfortable, place a pillow under your hips for support. Slowly bend one knee, bringing your heel up toward your bottom as far as it comfortably goes. Take 3 seconds to lift. Hold at the top for 2 seconds and squeeze the back of your thigh. Lower over 4 seconds. Do not let the leg drop quickly. Research tested this exercise in over 150 adults with an average age of 78. After 8 weeks of doing it 3 times per week, participants showed a 33% increase in hamstring strength and a 26% improvement in knee stability during walking tests. The slow lowering is where the real work happens. Research found that a slow 4-second lowering phase produced 27% greater strength gains than a quick lift and drop pattern. One important form detail: keep your hips pressed down into the mattress the whole time. Many people lift their hip as the heel comes up, which takes the work off the hamstring and puts strain on the lower back. If you feel this in your back rather than the back of your thigh, you are lifting your hip. Aim for 2 sets of 10 curls per leg, progressing to 3 sets of 15. The third exercise is the one I promised you: the pillow squeeze. From the outside, it looks like you are doing absolutely nothing. There is no visible movement at all. And yet it works better than walking for building the muscles that keep your legs steady underneath you. Your inner thigh muscles, called your adductors, run along the inside of your thighs. Their job is to keep your legs stable under your body when you walk, stand, or shift your weight from one foot to the other. Research found that adductor weakness is strongly linked to lateral falls, which are the sideways falls most likely to cause hip fractures in older adults. Hip fractures are among the most devastating injuries for people over 70. They can lead to surgery, prolonged hospital stays, loss of independence, and in some cases, significantly increased mortality risk. Walking barely touches the adductor muscles because walking is primarily a forward and backward motion. Your inner thighs are responsible for side-to-side stability, which walking doesn't challenge at all. That is exactly why these muscles fade silently, while people who walk every day still feel unstable. The pillow squeeze changes that. Lie on your back with your knees bent and both feet flat on the bed. Place a pillow, a rolled-up towel, or a soft ball between your knees. Now squeeze your knees together firmly against that object. Hold that squeeze for 5 full seconds. Then slowly release for 3 seconds. That is 1 repetition. Research tested this in adults with an average age of 78. After 8 weeks of doing it 3 times per week, participants showed a 33% increase in adductor strength and a 26% improvement in lateral stability during walking. Those improvements translate directly to fewer sideways stumbles. The 5-second hold is critically important. Research found that a 5-second hold produced 27% greater strength gains compared to a quick squeeze and release. During the squeeze, you should feel the muscles along your inner thighs working hard. If you do not feel them, squeeze more firmly or use a slightly thicker pillow. Breathe normally throughout and resist the temptation to hold your breath. Studies show that breath holding during these exercises caused unnecessary blood pressure spikes in adults over 70. Aim for 3 sets of 10 squeezes with a 5-second hold. As you grow stronger, extend the hold to 8 or even 10 seconds. It takes 4 minutes. You barely move, and your hips and thighs will feel more secure with every session. The 4th exercise is the prone leg lift. This targets what researchers consistently rank as one of the most critical muscle groups for preventing falls and maintaining independence after 70. Your glutes. Their job is to push your body upward when you stand and to hold your hips level every single time you take a step. Research found that hip and glute weakness was present in 73% of adults over 70 who had experienced a fall in the previous year. That is a staggering number, and it tells you exactly how important these muscles are. The problem is that sitting switches your glutes off completely. If you spend most of the day in a chair, which many older adults do, your glutes learn to stay quiet and inactive. When your glutes stop working, your lower back compensates by doing their job instead. Your lower back was never designed for that role. It's a stabilizer, not a prime mover. That is where a huge amount of back pain after 70 actually comes from. It's not a back problem, it's a glute problem. The muscles that should be doing the heavy lifting have gone silent, and your back is paying the price every single day. The prone leg lift wakes those glutes back up and teaches them to fire again. Lie on your stomach with both legs straight and a pillow under your hips. Rest your arms folded under your forehead. Now squeeze your right buttock first, before you move at all. Then, using that squeeze, lift your straight right leg a few inches off the bed. You do not need to lift high. 4 to 6 inches is plenty. Take 3 seconds to lift. Hold that position for 4 seconds, then lower slowly over 4 seconds. Switch legs. Research tested this movement in over 170 adults with an average age of 81. After 12 weeks, participants demonstrated a 36% increase in hip extension strength and a 28% improvement in single leg stance time, which is the gold standard clinical test for fall risk. The 4-second hold is based on research showing that a sustained hold of at least 4 seconds was required to fully recruit the glutes in older adults. Shorter holds activated the muscle only partially. Focus on feeling your backside working, not your lower back. Many people arch their spine to lift the leg higher. Keep your hips pressed into the pillow and lift less. Research found that proper glute isolation improved walking stability by 32% over 10 weeks, compared to only 14% when the movement was done with poor form. Start with 3 sets of 8 lifts per leg and progress to 3 sets of 12. This movement builds the pushing power that walking alone simply cannot provide. The 5th and most powerful exercise is heel and toe raises. This is a movement that most people have never even considered as exercise. But the science behind it will change your mind completely. Heel and toe raises involve sitting on the edge of your bed with your feet flat on the floor, then slowly lifting your heels as high as you can, lowering them, and then lifting your toes up while keeping your heels down. It looks gentle and it feels gentle, but what is happening inside your body is anything but small. Research tested this movement in nearly 190 adults between the ages of 76 and 88. After 6 weeks of doing it for just 10 minutes a day, participants showed a 31% improvement in ankle strength and a 24% increase in proprioception. Proprioception is your body's ability to sense where your joints are in space without looking at them. Think of it as your internal GPS system for movement. It is one of the first things to decline as you age, and most people don't even realize it's happening. It is directly responsible for how stable you feel when you walk. turn corners, step over obstacles, or navigate uneven ground. When proprioception fades, your body can't make the tiny automatic adjustments needed to keep you balanced. Falls follow. The same study found that participants doing daily heel and toe raises had a 20% lower rate of tripping incidents compared to the control group who didn't do these exercises. That's a significant reduction in fall risk from an exercise that takes less than 10 minutes. There is a second benefit that matters even more when done in bed, first thing in the morning. Your calf muscles act as a powerful pump for the blood in your lower legs. After a full night lying still and horizontal, blood naturally pools in your lower extremities. Heel raises push that pooled blood back up toward your heart through the venous system. This reduces the swelling in the feet and ankles that many older adults notice first thing in the morning. It also helps prevent that lightheaded or dizzy feeling that some people experience when they first stand up after sleeping all night. To get the maximum benefit, sit tall on the edge of the bed with both feet flat and hip width apart. Slowly press through the balls of your feet and lift both heels as high as they will go. Take 3 seconds to rise. Hold at the top for 2 seconds. Lower slowly over 3 seconds. That is 1 heel raise. Do 15. Then reverse it. Keep your heels planted and lift your toes toward the ceiling as high as they will go. Hold for 2 seconds. Lower slowly and repeat 15 times. The key is moving through the entire range of motion, not making tiny quick movements. Research found that full range ankle movements activated 19 different muscles and tendons in the lower leg and foot, compared to only 7 when the movements were small and rushed. The bigger and slower you go, the more benefit you receive. One important detail most people miss is keeping your upper body still. If you are rocking forward and backward to help the lift, you are using momentum instead of the small stabilizer muscles around your ankle. Rest your hands on your thighs and let only your feet move. Start with 2 sets of 15 heel raises and 15 toe raises, and progress to 3 sets of 20. And there you have it. 5 bed exercises that are not just as good as walking for adults over 70, but in many ways significantly better. You do not need a gym. You do not need expensive equipment. You do not even need to leave your bedroom. All you need is your own bed and a few minutes each day. Do them in order because the order matters. Each exercise prepares your body for the next one. Begin with heel and toe raises to wake up circulation and activate the small muscles in your feet and ankles. Then hamstring curls to steady the knee and protect against buckling. Then pillow squeezes to lock in your hips and prevent sideways instability. Then prone leg lifts to switch on your glutes and restore the pushing power you need to stand and climb. Then seated knee extensions to rebuild the quadriceps muscle that literally stands you up every single time you get out of a chair, off a toilet, or out of bed. When you do these 5 exercises in this order, you're systematically activating every major muscle group in your lower body. You're waking up the muscles that have gone quiet from too much sitting. You're rebuilding strength in the specific areas that decline fastest with age. You're training your nervous system to communicate effectively with your muscles again. And you're doing all of this from the safety and comfort of your own bed, before you even stand up for the day. Your muscles, your joints, your balance, and your confidence will all improve in ways that can genuinely change the quality of your daily life. The best part is that these exercises take less than 15 minutes total. You can do them every single morning as part of your wake-up routine. They require no equipment except a pillow. They work at any fitness level, and they produce results that walking alone simply cannot achieve, because they target the muscles that walking barely touches. These exercises work because they address the specific muscles that decline with age, not just the general concept of movement. Always check with your own doctor before starting anything new, especially after recent surgery or a joint replacement. These exercises are gentle and low impact, but they need to be appropriate for your specific health situation and any conditions you may have. I want to leave you with one final thought. Independence after 70 is not about luck or genetics. It's about maintaining the muscles that allow you to do the things you need to do every day. Getting out of bed, standing up from a chair, walking to the kitchen, climbing stairs, catching yourself when you stumble. These 5 bed exercises target every one of those abilities directly. They're simple, they're effective, they're backed by research, and they work. If this video helped you understand how simple bed exercises can rebuild strength and stability after 70, please give it a like and subscribe, because there's so much more to understand about staying strong, independent, and confident as you age.